Welcome back. Right, this video we go to Hampton Downs with the little march and we try and do a better time, try and smash out the fastest time I've driven it around that circuit. My best time myself was 1:13.841 or something like that. The car did have a boost leak that day, and it was at that point I think we were only running 14 psi, and we can run 17 now. It should run 17 psi. Whether I've got everything all lined up to make the thing actually go properly, we'll find out tomorrow. So we did the autocross thing, was that last weekend or the weekend before, something like that. So we did that. Obviously that's only pretty low speed, just into third gear a couple of times, so maybe 100k an hour or something like that tops. Completely different story when you're doing in excess of 200. So we'll see what goes on there. Before I disappear off to the track to do that, let's have a look at the Gloria. So I've put the noisy thing back in the hole. It's been a little bit gone on and I haven't bothered filming it because I just wanted to get on with it and get things happening. So I've made a nice big fan shroud for our 2 electric fans to go in there. It's about 45 millimeters deep, so not a heck of a lot of room left between the fan. I'm not sure if you can see in there. Yeah, you can see in there. Not a heck of a lot of room between the fan and the front of the motor, but it's a bit of a compromise given the amount of space that you got. More space in front of the fan to the radiator is better for shifting the air around. We can't put bigger fans on there. Those are the biggest diameter we can fit. There's 2 of those are obviously right out at the edge of the shroud as it is. So that's as much fan as we can put on there. They're a Panasonic fan. There may be better ones that shift more air. Whatever, we'll see how that goes. I did make a piece to close off up the top here, and I made an error with that, so I'm going to chuck that in the scrap metal bin, start over, get that bang on. Probably, like, you're looking at that and you're saying the radiator's not as high as it could be, and that's right, it's not. The radiator could have been about 40 millimeters higher from the cap to here, and you'd get a little bit more cooling in that, but looking at where our air intake is there, and that's actually been tweaked. As you can see, I've cut and re-welded that to let's see if we can spin the camera around, give you a view of that. To kink those pipes back, you'll see that's not a straight line across there through there. That's move the filter back that way, move that filter back that way to give us some clearance between the shroud and the air intake. That's not where the radiator sits, that's where the radiator sits. It had just leaned back when I lowered the hoist down. So I'll put some sort of a heat shield on here to stop that radiating heat into the air intake and cooking out air. So that's moving along. I've put the hose tail fittings on there. So there's our way down there at the bottom. That's our cold fitting. Quite a tight squeeze in there, but that'll work. Might need, yeah, I think the radiator's actually sitting just a bit too far over this way, so yeah, there you go. With that sat there, I can get a hose on there and there's just enough room for that to work. Hot fitting has to come under this, so it can't be all the way at the top. So let's come around here, let's have a look. You can see it just there. So it's about 30-40 millimeters, maybe a bit more than that. Yeah, it's a lot more than that, isn't it? You can see it there. Call it 50 mils down from the very top of the tank, but that's fine. It's not, we're not working in a perfect world. You do have compromises to make things work, so that's where that's ended up. Would have been nice to have that running uphill from the hot fitting into the hot tank, and normally you would have the radiator cap would be on the top of the hot tank as well, but because we've got our intercooler system plumbed on this side, the header tank over here, and we've got the radiator header tank over the other side. I've left the cap over there because it's a shorter run for that to work effectively, and you don't have so much plumbing running around. So anyway, that's that. Engine's back in primarily to check the clearances for the exhaust manifold to the steering shaft, now that we've taken that panel away and welded a piece of that panel directly into the firewall to do away with all that fluff and make things all nice and tidy, which is very tight on the clearance to the rocker cover here. Probably will be taking a notch out of the corner of this rocker cover and plastic welding it to alleviate any chance of an engine mount failing and that touching on the steering shaft and making the steering almost impossible to move, which is a no-no. You can't have that. It's supposed to be that if an engine mount fails and that engine drops down in that direction, it shouldn't touch on the steering shaft and jam that up. So I need to deal with that. Had a phone call. This is taking longer than I thought. Sorry guys, we'll get to the racing soon. Had a phone call with the customer earlier this week. We want to take this fan assembly that lives here, great big fan that bolts onto here and has a rubber manifold, comes off this, goes into the fan and then comes out of the fan, goes through that and into the other side of the firewall. We're going to actually delete all that, so the fan will be inside the cabin as per modern cars, and I've just got to work out how we're going to do that. There's a flap in here that makes you recirc air or fresh air, but there is quite a lot of room in front of that, so it might be that there's a big piece chopped out here and some ducting in behind, and we've got to get on with that. But that's it's good to do that now before we paint the engine bay, and that will keep things all nice and tidy. And if we're doing that, then those two riv nuts that you see just right in the middle of your screen there, where the fuel pressure regulator was living originally, they'll probably get blanked off. Fuel pressure reg is probably going to go on a panel that I'm about to make that'll cover up windscreen wiper motor cavity. That'll get painted the same color as the rest of the firewall, so that'll be pretty good. Right, so I've got my gear sitting there. I don't want to leave the fuel on the back of the ute in case it rains and in case some thieving scum decides to have it, and I don't leave my helmet and expensive stuff in the ute overnight. So first thing in the morning, it'll be throw that all in the ute and away we go. Let's see how we get on. Alright, so we made it here, obviously. Car set up in the background there. By set up, I mean I took it off the trailer, lined it up. Most of the gear's still on the back of the ute there. Crash, oh, you can't see it, never mind, it's too hard. Driver's briefing in a few minutes. A lot of fog on the way up here, but that seems to have dispersed, or I ran through it, so to speak. We'll have a chat with some of these fellas with their racing cars. That's not a racing car. I don't know what the Ford's doing there. It was there when we got here. Might be a Superlap pickle, so swap this over. Series organizer Kerry. That thing there is quite fast. That's actually Evo hybrid type thing. It's the Evo running gear in there. And Brian's Commodore, which you've seen in the background, the Evo, the actual Evo in the background there, that's probably fast enough today, but we'll see. Alright, see what the day brings. Looks like weather could be alright, probably for the first session at least. We'll see how we go after that. Rightio, so first session of the day done. Not bad, good result. I'll go through the bad things. I was a useless bugger and didn't change / flush the brake fluid in the car. Should have done that. Thought about it several times. Thought about it even when the car was just put on the trailer. I was like, really should change that brake fluid. It's good brake fluid. It's been in there for quite some time now. It doesn't last forever. I didn't do it. That was really dumb. So did have a bit of a long pedal a couple of times coming up to turn 1. Hopefully I'll be able to get the in-car footage from the GoPro into this video somehow, some way, shape or form, and you'll see I got a little bit close to the black Commodore, a bit closer than what I really wanted. Not dangerous close, but just like, yeah, I think we should do something with the brakes. So thanks to Aaron from Race Brakes, who was here, and we've purchased some, sorry, forgotten the brand, purchased some brake fluid from him, and he gave me a hand, as did Eric with the R33 GTR, and we got the brake fluid all bled up, so hopefully and take care of that. It could be that we've actually now reached the limit for what the standard factory 370Z brake pads will handle, because I've just gone about 1.7 seconds faster than ever before. So the second lap out on the track, haven't driven on the track for over 6 months. Second lap out on the track, I just did a 112.1 something. So pretty happy with that. It's a good result. Next session, I'm not sure how we'll go. Air temps will be up, track temps might be a bit too much, but we'll see how we get on. I was aiming for flat 13s. I think I might have mentioned that earlier on. Flat 13s would be good, so 12.1, that's pretty much a flat 12 or close to. If I can knock 0.2 out of that, then we're in 11s. 11s is pretty ridiculous for a Nissan March, although I have said all along, I believe it's probably worth 10s with the right driver. Maybe not this driver just here, but with the right driver we can probably get 10s out of it. In saying that, I think we might need to change brake pads to a race pad rather than a road pad to get it there. Everything else will pretty much be, I think we could do it. But that's it. So I mean, great result for the first session. Let's just keep the car straight, clean, tidy, unbroken, and we'll see what happens with tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a bit yucky, I think, but there's 2 more sessions today we should be able to do today. So if we can get the 0.2 out of it without being silly about it, that'd be great, but I'm certainly not going to put anything on the line to do it. Time for some lunch, and I'll update you all shortly. G'day. Right, so just second session for the day. As I said, may have said in this video, I certainly did with the live one. Not all that confident with the brakes on the car now that we're going quite a bit quicker. So they are factory Nissan road car pads, and I don't have any ducting in there as well. You know, the good Z1 Motorsports two-piece rotors. They're perfect. They're doing their job well. I'm just putting too much heat into the factory Nissan pads now. So I've got some. Look, I can't remember the brand off the top of my head, sorry. Got some from some high-performance motorsport pads at home that have been sourced from Z1 Motorsports. For the rear, I do not have any for the front, so I can't really do anything about that at this point in time. Wasn't expecting to run into this problem. Previous best time, 118, sorry, what was it? What was my previous best time? 113.841 or something like that. First session today, 112.1. Issues with brake fade. Second session today, I've just knocked out a 111.1. So I went out to pull 0.2 seconds out of the lap time, and I'm such a crap driver, I overcooked it and took a whole second out of it. So just as well it's not time trials where we're trying to set a time, because I didn't do so well at that. But swap your back. That little beastie at the moment, right here, right now, this is, apart from Gene Rolliston in a TCR car on slicks, which is exhibition only, this is the fastest car competing in New Zealand Superlap series today. Here right now, that's not a car that's much faster and broken in at home or something like that. But here's Eric's R33 GTR. Now this car's actually going to be for sale. Here's Eric. Eric helped us out bleeding the brakes earlier on today. Thank you very much, sir.
Always happy to help.
Happy to help. Yeah. Happy to help. So if anyone's looking for an R33 GTR,
never been raced
or rallied, much. Only on the weekends. It doesn't count if it's not done during the week. It's only done on the weekends. So this is it's 440 kilowatts, isn't it, Eric?
No, it's 370 to the wheels.
Okay, I lied. It's 440 kilowatts in Glenn's mind, but apparently the dyno says it's 370. But it's a quick car. What are we doing today with this one?
114.2 with it today.
That's not shabby at all.
It's 113.1.
113.1 is pretty damn quick for a road car without ridiculous amounts of modifications and horsepower and all that sort of carry. But if anyone's looking for this, you get in touch with me. I'll put you in touch with Eric. Some people don't like the R33s much. Some people think they're heavy. They're actually not as heavy as the internet will tell you, and they're actually not a bad looking car in my opinion. So if you want to have a chat with Eric about his car, get in touch. I'm not sure we're supposed to advertise like this. I don't know if we can do that. So let's have a chat with Stuart. How'd you get on this time, Stuart?
Shit.
Oh no, was it?
Spun out at turn 1.
Oh, turn 1. That's not a corner. I'm having brake fade at turn 1, so I probably won't spin out. I'll just go in the sand trap, which is also bad. But I don't see any damage on the car.
Yeah, luckily I spun wide.
Spun wide, no damage. Back out for the next session.
Yeah, hopefully
See you, big gorilla.
Oh, hang on. Let's have a talk.
Oh no, I might do it by video.
What video conference for your trophy? Car's broken, isn't it?
Yes, input bearings, yes, input shaft bearings.
Gearbox.
Yes, gearbox. Bit of
Sad
work for the week. I had nothing to do this week, next weekend.
So now, believe me people, if I sound like I'm gloating or bragging or laughing about people's broken cars, it's absolutely not the case. That's not me at all, and I don't like seeing it. And Gregory's Gutless has broken the clutch. I think it's my fault. The shiny patch on the bonnet. I'm not sure if you can see it over there. Just it's next to where the headlight goes. I gave it a little bit of a polish, and I think maybe I'm responsible for the failure of the clutch due to that. It's too much going on. Made it too fast with all the shiny red. We're not going to climb under there and look, but that's apparently there's a dead clutch there. We'll see what's happening over here. That's the problem, isn't it? I think all these people that put the engines in the back We're just asking for trouble, aren't we? Asking for trouble. Have a good one, mate. See you next time. Let's go and let's have a look and see what Daryl's doing.
Typical rotary stuff.
He's topping up the oil. It's alright. There's a little bit of oil around my oil cap I need to look into and see why it's there. How are you getting on today, sir?
Cheryl has done a 120 something in the first session, and only 123 then. So she's not super happy because she's done a 116.9 thermal, but
Yeah.
it's a bit skaty, different tyres than we're used to, but
Yeah.
that, a bit rusty.
So she's got some Achilles on the front and something's on the back. I'm not sure. Oh, Nankings. Oh, there you go. So my sponsors Nexon will be happy to hear that some other people's tyres are not doing what they want. And this is really it today. There's not much of a fleet here.
Greg Gowdy will have his work cut out.
Let's have a look at this TCR car.
Just watching him come up the hill now.
Blisteringly quick car on racing slicks.
Okay, Greg Gowdy is the man who's in charge of it now.
With Gene Rolliston behind the wheel.
To make its run.
I think he's looking at his files. He's trying to see how he can beat the March by even larger margin. Is it data logging or is it video?
So what happens now, and I tell you what, Gowdy comes straight
Data.
across the track in front of
Let's have a look at this. Is what a TCR car looks like.
Into turn one he goes.
They run
Tony
a
Roberts just hangs back there a minute. He knows it's got the horse.
ABS unit sitting in the passenger footwell. That's interesting. They run a control engine. You have to excuse old John in the background there, commentator. So they all run the same horsepower and all that sort of carry on. It's pretty.
Attention in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Classic trial to the assembly area, please. Classic trial to the assembly area. Thank you.
Hey, that's an interesting way to do a side skirt. I should try that.
Sampson's made the pass too. He's got past.
I should try that. That might be a better way of going about it.
Sampson, he's put the pressure on Craig Highland now. As we come up the hill, goes to the outside.
Rightio.
Highland holds the inside line down into the port.
Sunshine is still out.
This is
so
where
this
Kevin
is good.
Gimblet's going to have a run.
I'll see about this last session today, whether I do it or not. Tomorrow I believe it's going to rain, so tomorrow's going to be a bit of a write-off, I think.
First, he'll just open up.
Right, so that's day one of the final round is over and done with. Last session I did just then. Said I'd do a couple of laps and back off because there wasn't the brakes on the car, the pads, and not good enough anymore. But hey, that happens. 10.68. Boom. So there you go. It's a 10-second car, even with me driving, which is pretty awesome. I think if we put a gun, maybe 8, something like that, probably. Possibly even faster, I don't know. Certainly with some decent brake shoes in there, brake pads, we're going to pull quite a bit more out of it. Spend the money on a few other bits and pieces, get even more time, but hey, it is what it is. It's a lot of genuine Nissan parts in that car, cobbled together, a few aftermarket bits and pieces, and some gear from Z1, etc. to help her along. So not a bad result, very happy. I'll see whether I wrap this video up now or come back tomorrow and do the prize giving. Definitely going to be back tomorrow for the prize giving anyway, so you guys will have to hold out until then. Alright, so day 2 in the Superlap series final round. Quite obviously this is not the racetrack in the background, and I'm not sure if the sound will come through or not. It's raining. Thought it might do. Not upset. That's all good. So the car stayed on the trailer last night with the funny, is that lighting better? You can see the laundry and the Bedford there, see? Left the car on the trailer last night, chucked cover on it, just keep the riffraff out a little bit, and woke up this morning, just let's make the call based on the weather, and it was terrible. So it's like, okay, alrighty, leave that on the trailer. Put it away for now. Went up, did the prize giving. It was alright. There was a few people there, given the amount of entries for the season overall, and the whole COVID situation, and the weather today, and all that sort of carry on. It was a reasonably good turnout for the prize giving, so that was all good. I was going to record some of that for you guys. A bit slack, a bit distracted, and it didn't it didn't happen. There's no video of that. I threw a tantrum on the floor. There might be video